Gentlemen, first leg, Cristo to throw first. Game on!
In 2017, and should he win this match, Paul, he's seeded to meet Michael van Gerwen, although Keegan Brown stands in the way of MVG later on this evening.
16.
Yeah, as you can see, Cristo's got the number 16 next to him. That corresponds to the number 1. So then number 15 plays 2 and so on and so on. But great start to the match from Ulf Ceder.
123.
Yeah, well, if Ulf gets knocked out, Paul, this tournament will be unseeded.
I was waiting for that little pun to come through.
Didn't have to wait long for this.
125.
Great third dart from Reyes. Ceder was impressive, wasn't he, on his big European Tour stage bow. He's a man that's been around a long time. Appeared at the Lakeside in '96, at the World Masters in '06. Once every 10 years, he comes on as a good run, Paul.
He's one of those players 97. Who maybe looks at darts as a good part-time vocation. He's just one of those great players that we don't see a lot of. And one thing we can see a lot of is
100.
The point on the end of his dart. It is very, very long. Very much like Justin Pipe's darts. I remember playing in Australia with a guy called Don Whittington.
59.
Had the longest points I've ever seen.
Ulf,
they were longer than Ulf's.
38.
Well, Ulf is launching an assault on the Reyes throw here. We saw Jan Dekker take out 160 to win the first match of the day.
41.
Reyes might have to take out the same shot to hold his throw in the first leg. And he's not going to. And we didn't see a breaker throw in that first match, Paul. Are we about to see the first of the day now?
Very possibly.
60.
And if he hits this, we might get the fanfare from the crowd that we had yesterday. Ulf, Ulf, Ulf. He's got 90 left. Treble 18 will be his target. Now it'll be double 18.
61.
Very close.
So you require 100.
So the Tenerife man wants the ton. He doesn't get it. And Ulf, who went close to his target last time, is homing in on an early break.
Game shown the first leg. On Ceder, second leg Ulf to throw first. Game on.
Oh, Finland have got some great dart players. Likes of Marco Kantele, Jouko Kommila, Jani Haavisto.
41.
But it's the Ulf man that's doing the best at the moment.
Yeah, well, he beat Kantele to get here. Also saw off Magnus Karris and Kim Viljanen.
100.
I remember Jouko Kommila saying to me once that he used to play competitive
59.
darts once a week and he had to fly 1,000 miles just to play. That's the vast size of that country.
140.
Good style though. It's very unusual from Ceder, but it's very effective.
Yeah,
Gets them very close together.
I was talking about this yesterday in his match with Dan Dawson, and he seems to release the dart from the middle of his forehead, but I think it could be something to do with the fact that he wears glasses, because the pullback goes further than where his glasses would end. So effectively, if he did it in front of his eyes, he'd hit the glasses.
58.
Absolutely. I can testify to that. In my early career, I wore glasses, and it was a pain, really, because the flights would flick against the glasses and it would affect your throw.
100.
It's something he's obviously done consciously.
Well, everyone wondered how it would affect Gary Anderson, didn't they, when he started wearing specs, because he really brings the dart back to his eye.
58.
I think he's done
Cristo,
pretty well.
101.
Yeah, he's done all right. Treble 19 will leave double 12 to break straight back.
Game
oh,
shot
that's a
in the
piece. That's right in the
leg.
middle.
Cristo Reyes.
Perfect riposte from the
Third
Tenerife
leg,
man,
Cristo to throw first.
who no
Game
doubt
on.
is looking forward to Gibraltar next week, because that means he doesn't have to fly all the way across Europe. It's just a short hop for him.
Yeah, not just for that reason, though, Paul, as well, because
95.
Michael van Gerwen's not on the entry list for that tournament. Cristo Reyes is seeded 15th as a result of that, which means with everyone moving up, he'd be seeded to take on Mensur Suljovic. Now, I'm not saying that's an easy task in the slightest,
99.
but he is and will be sick of the sight of Michael van Gerwen in front of him on the hockey.
Well, he's not the only one. There's a lot of people who are sick of the sight of Michael van Gerwen. But it's been Peter Wright who's been a thorn in his side also recently, as we can see from our camera angle there. The flight of Ulf Ceder going to the middle of the forehead.
137.
Yeah, well, his last 4 defeats, Paul. Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Gary Anderson, and your good self.
Pretty good company.
100.
He did say that he was sick of getting beaten by the winner of a tournament. Unfortunately, I didn't even win the board after beating Cristo because I ran into Gary Anderson, who did consequently go on and win the tournament.
97.
It's interesting, Cristo Reyes, to look at his Twitter feed. He kind of makes a joke of it as well, but he keeps running into the winner of tournaments. And he got round that for the weekend by tweeting the following day, well, yesterday I was beaten by the winner of today's tournament. He's going to be forced into a big finish to hold on to his throw again. No breaks in game one, but a couple at the start of this one, and Ulf is perfectly poised, unless Reyes can take out the big finish. No, he can't.
94.
Yeah, pretty good go at it.
40.
Ulf has tops for 2-1 and 3 consecutive breaks in this match. Oh, now it's tricky. Needs the old airbender shot.
20.
73 is a lot easier to hit than 167. And he should get a shot at the double.
We did 101, but now he might only get a dart at the bullseye. That's all he does get.
48.
And Ulf
required 20.
gets a chance he may not have been expecting.
Game shot in the third leg.
Oh, that's annoying. If you're Cristo Reyes, you're thinking he's going to miss this, and he pulls a great double 5 out of the bag. 3 consecutive breaks. And you can just tell that Cristo's a little bit annoyed with himself, because when you've got 73, you say to yourself, all right, it's okay, I'm going to get a shot at tops here, at the very least.
100.
And when you hit that 3, you're kicking yourself.
Yeah, then had to go 24, but it leaves you in an awkward position anyway, because
77.
if you hit the treble, you're on that tricky double 5. Last couple of darts that he's tried to switch have found their way into the 3 segment.
140.
Make no mistake, this is a tricky game for Cristo, because Ulf's got his tail up. You look at some of the games that Ulf could have had yesterday. There were some great caliber players, but they don't come any higher than Steve Beaton, and he really did himself a lot of credit yesterday against a great opponent.
140.
And when you beat someone of Steve's caliber, it does mammoth things for your confidence. It's all well and good playing in qualifiers in different parts of Europe, but when you're up against great caliber players who have won world titles, and you can put in a great display against those guys, that's what really makes you think how good you are.
Well, now looking for daylight. Doesn't need to clean it up in this visit.
89.
Sets it up instead, and Reyes may just be starting to feel the pinch.
I'm starting to hear in the crowd a little bit of the Ulf chant.
Ulf, you require 32.
Here he comes. Ulf needs double 16 for a 2-leg gap. Gets it.
Shot the fourth leg. Ulf Ceder.
I think he's becoming a bit of a crowd favourite. He's not one for big celebrations, and that's the case for all the Finnish guys.
100.
I tell you what, though, have a short name like Ulf can become a crowd favourite just by your name.
Yeah, he's not exactly encouraging them, is he? Well, that's not very encouraging, is it? Haven't seen that for a while. And that's the best celebration we've seen. He scored 3 and give it the old fist pump.
100.
Sometimes you got to hold your hand up and say, right, bad visit, let's forget about that. But it's one of those things, isn't it, with the Scandinavian boys? They're just stone-faced, aren't they?
140.
Nothing bothers them.
Yeah, unassuming. Humble.
60.
Sure, it feels like summer down here in Germany. For a Finnish guy, it's always cold up there. Although it does look very beautiful in the summer up in that part of the world.
The opposite for Cristo Reyes.
It's always winter when he leaves home.
134.
Interesting walk-on song for Ulf Ceder as well today. The Game by Motorhead, famous wrestling walk-on song for Triple H. I'm sure Steve Douglas at home's got something to say about that, because that's his walk-on song as well.
Well, he's certainly got the game.
85.
Leaving us in no doubt about that. But CR180 wants the 107.
55.
Well, Ulf Ceder may use the 19s here. So if he can get a couple of trebles, he'll leave a double. So Reyes is coming back
96.
for a very doable 52.
So you require 52.
Will he favour the 12 or the 20? The 20 it is for double 16. He's going to go to the left.
20.
Oh, and he wires both of them.
Ulf, you require
Ulf could break his heart.
It's a massive chance for the Finnish player. Now he's left with the same equation that Reyes had earlier on, but he's found the treble and wants double 5. And pins double 5. 77 out to lead Cristo Reyes by 4 legs to 1. And the Finnish man is closing in on the finish line.
That finish line is a lot closer to the Finnish guy than it is to the Spaniard. Keeps going like this, we're going to see some Ulf Ceder masks in the crowd tomorrow. First time I ever saw Ulf play actually was Lakeside qualifiers, and he was beaten in the final game by certain Bobby George. That was the last time he went to Lakeside. I'll tell you what, he's been around a while, Ulf, but didn't look too bad for his age.
140.
Well, Reyes needs to find something. He needs to find it in this leg.
140.
I feel that's what Cristo's got to do now. He's just got to pound those 140s in, sneak in a couple of maximums and put some pressure on Ulf. Because Ulf yesterday won comfortably against Steve Beaton. And if Cristo can just get closer to him and make him think a bit more, then we could have a different game on our hands.
100.
He's down to a finish, but it may be one he has to take out. Let's just see what Ceder can leave here.
57.
Okay, this is a chance for Cristo Reyes.
Absolutely. Minimum straight ton here. Squeeze one in the middle of those two, will be happy.
60.
But it just doesn't seem to be happening at the right moments for the Spaniard.
Yeah, still may only get one dart at double if he returns. Because Ulf wants double top.
Game
To
shot.
move 5-1 ahead.
Ulf Ceder, 7th leg, Cristo to the first.
I'll tell you what, forget your Icelandic thunderclap. We've now got the Finnish war cry of Ulf.
60.
Well, we assumed that we may be seeing a 5th meeting in 2017 between Reyes and Van Gerwen.
58.
Doesn't look like that will be happening. Part 1 of the equation, at least, is not going to plan.
Could be Ulf Ceder versus Keegan Brown.
100.
Well, anything is possible, Paul.
Indeed it is. That's what we love about the game of darts. Can't predict it. You can't perfect it.
41.
There have been cases over the last few seasons of people coming back from these kinds of margins. A couple of weeks ago, James Richardson tried to do it on the European Tour. He nearly got there.
59.
But we're saying there hasn't been a player yet in the tournament that's missed match darts and gone on to lose. You would think that the Finlander will have some darts for the match from this position.
You would think so. It's all Reyes in this leg. Even though Cristo would admit he's probably not played his best in this leg, Ulf hasn't turned up at all, really.
Cristo require 156.
Only one way you can get this one. Another one of those will do.
100.
The only way you can get 156 is 2 60s and double 18. It's impossible to get it any other way.
Yeah, there's only a handful of checkouts where that's the case, isn't there, Paul? Is it 4?
4 or 5. We were talking about this last week in Wigan.
40. Cristo require 56.
There's many ways you can get 56. Little 16 leaves tops.
36.
Even when he's 200 in front, he just can't seem to close out the leg.
Well,
Big deep breath from the Spaniard right in the background there, as if to say, come on.
121.
Well, a wide with the last start, but he certainly was starting to ask a question in this leg. Reyes had found the target, but now
8 leg, Ulf to throw first, game on.
Ulf has the throw.
Know any other sports stars called Ulf? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there would be some.
60.
Maybe a skier or someone who's in a bobsleigh.
Not off the top of my head either, Paul.
I'll be getting onto Google after this, having a little gander.
97.
The way he's been playing this weekend, Ulf Ceder's probably top of the Ulf hashtag list.
Well, it would be a turn up for the books. It was when he saw off Steve Beaton by a 6-2 scoreline. Could he repeat the feat
59.
against Reyes today?
Oh, what else are the Finnish good at? Javelin throwing. We've got some really good javelin throwers in that country. And some good poker players.
85.
With a demeanour like Ulf Ceder, I'm sure he's a pretty good poker player as well. They're very famous for someone called Patrick Antonius.
Well, Reyes looking for 3 of a kind. Gets it, but it doesn't get him down to a finish.
Ulf's got to go bull here.
58.
Fails to get the target, so now Reyes has got 6 darts from 165 to keep his hopes alive.
99.
Ulf again looking for treble 19s. Another one will leave 59. Treble to leave tops.
95.
That's all right, just in case Cristo can't get rid of this 66. Ulf will get a shot at a double. But only if he misses double 18.
30.
Well, that's 2 out of 11 attempts now to Cristo Reyes. That's been the problem for him. It's not been so much trouble for this man. Ulf Ceder looking. Well, he was, I assure you, looking at double 12.
66.
Nerves, it's got to be nerves, Paul.
Maybe a little bit of sweat on the darts.
Require 36.
Cristo Reyes will be breathing a sigh of relief. But only if he can get double 18.
Game
and he
shot
does.
in the 8th leg. Cristo Reyes. 9th leg, Cristo to throw first.
Well, he has missed the match start, and he missed it by some distance.
Do you remember when Phil Taylor was going for the 9-darter in Cardiff at the Champions League? Came out of his hand wrong. Very similar to that.
Yeah, it can happen. I have to say, a couple of faults in Reyes' game have been on the doubles and in the switching. Darts down to the 19, finding the 7 and the 3 with alarming regularity.
58.
Well, one thing you're not allowed to do up there is something that people do on the pub and club circuit back in the UK. They get a bit of chalk
96.
and they mark where they stand against the hockey. That's something that you can't do up there. You can't use any sort of aid. And sometimes you're just over a little bit more on the hockey than you are in the practice room. And you have to adjust to that. Maybe find a little fleck on the carpet that is constantly there. And when you're playing well, always stick to that spot.
100.
I know you, Paul, as a player, always look down before to see where your foot's placed before you approach the hockey. Some players are almost throwing the darts before they've rested their foot against.
Yeah, everyone's got their little idiosyncrasies. Look at Gary Anderson, he kicks the hockey every time.
Well, can Cristo Reyes kick in here? We know that Ulf will have the throw. And a couple more legs. He survived one match start. The Spartan.
85. Cristo, you require 122.
Doesn't look like he'll need to survive one here. We had 72 left, so he's going for treble 16. 65.
82.
In the end, ends up leaving double top.
It would have been fun if you'd gone double 11 bull, but that's the kind of thing you don't do in a competitive match. Yeah, 122.25 leaves 97 for top. Bullseye leaves 72. He went for treble 16 for double 12, but he's got a double. 2 10s.
30.
Now, has Ulf Ceder got this number?
Require 180.
118. Reyes may have to survive another match start. And here it comes, at double top.
90.
And again, it is a long way away.
10.
I think you're right, Murph. A little bit of nerves on the finish line, no pun intended. Reyes to stay alive again. Got to come down an inch.
No score.
It's not there.
Ulf, you require 20.
Ulf gets 3 more darts for the match. And here come the chance.
Can he finish it off this time? Oh, that was close. Double 5. And he does not miss a 5th match start. And Cristo Reyes, who usually only gets beaten by the best, is condemned to a second round defeat.